Hey everybody, Jeff Gibby here. I hope you're doing well. Getting into winter. I saw some snow in our forecast today. Anyway, today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the fact that you can get commitment of trader data in MetaStock and some of the work that I did to help you be able to visualize that. And it was a fairly large project. I'm not sure this is going to be a very long video, but I do want to kind of just highlight and show you the stuff that I put together personally to help you visualize the commitment of trader data that's available now in MetaStock 17. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and the accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading, and MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about kind of the genesis of this. One of the things that I've been kind of advocating is that we have access to all the commitment of traders data that here in MetaStock, and that we take that data and make it available for MetaStock. And it's been kind of a bit of a project. We've had it in Zenith for a while, but we haven't had it in Data Link. And we finally kind of made all of the adjustments that were necessary to pull the data and make commitments of traders available for the futures market in MetaStock. And so what I wanted to do, and the project that I undertook, was I wanted to take all of that data that was available and make it very, very easy for people that wanted to kind of have access to it, to be able to see it, to kind of create some really, and I think that ended up pretty cool, but some cool templates that allow you to kind of pull that in. And it wasn't a little bit of work. It took me quite a bit of programming to pull it together. And I don't do a lot of programming in MetaStock, but needless to say, I'm pretty proud of kind of the product. We're making it available as something that you can download for free, as long as you have like the right data and the right version of MetaStock. It'll work for you. So I wanted to take, however long it takes to actually kind of just show this to you, kind of give you an idea of how it works. And if you like it, great. Go download it. So let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about what the Commitment of Trader report is, in case you're not familiar with it. The Commitment of Trader report, as you can read on the screen, is a weekly publication, and that shows the aggregate holdings of different market participants. It's released by the CFTC every week at 3:30 Eastern Time. So it basically, what it'll do is it breaks down the futures trading in the different markets that you're looking at into different categories. And so those categories, I'm going to kind of go through exactly what they are to kind of give you a primer of what they look like. But they basically break them down into these categories that you see on the screen: producer, swap dealer, commercial, non-commercial, money management, and other. And so others being everything else. And to kind of define it a little bit, producer would be producer, merchant, processor, user is an entity that predominantly engages in production, processing, packaging, handling, etc. A swap dealer is somebody that kind of usually takes a bit of a hedged interest. They're in a commodity. They use the futures markets to manage or hedge the risk associated with swap transactions. A commercial trader refers to anybody who trades on behalf of a business or institution. So with a commercial trader, if you're looking at soybeans, a commercial trader is going to, it might be the people that are processing the soybeans, people that have basically a commercial interest in the actual thing, whether that be the farmers or the whatever it might be, the people that the consumers of those soybeans. Generally, they have basically a hedged interest, usually in the markets. And then another category that they look at is the non-commercial trader. The non-commercial trader is basically traders, large traders typically, but people that have no business interest. These traders are looking not to take delivery. They're not looking to hedge input costs. They're purely speculating on what the market is doing and how they can profit from that. Okay. And then there's the money manager. That one's pretty self-explanatory. there's other reportables would be just everything else that doesn't fall into those categories, and they get their own category according to the CFTC. So that's the way that the report works. One of the other things that I kind of incorporated with my templates that I built for the commitment of traders is open interest. Open interest is a fairly interesting thing. I know a lot of people talk about open interest. They don't have a real clear understanding of actually what it is, but it's just basically the total number of contracts that are held in a position overnight. Okay, it basically tells you how many people have overnight interest in the market. Okay, so it's a lot of data. Basically, I wanted to be able to put together ways for you to actually easily access that data, help you make sense of what it was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let me kind of show you how I put this together on a chart. In a typical, and I've got a chart ready to go here that is actually crude oil. I thought I was looking at coffee, but this is crude oil. With typical commodities, physical commodities like oil or farmers, you're going to get all of the information in here. You're going to get non-commercials, you're going to get commercials, you're going to get managed, you're going to get producer, and you're going to get the other. And I want to show you real quick how to access this once you download and install the file. So if you click on File, Open right here, and basically it's going to open up and it's going to show you a listing of the commitment of traders. And so when I went through and I named this all, it basically is there's COT 10-year, COT Australian dollar, COT British pound, and you can kind of read the names. I'm not going to read them all out, but there's quite a number of these that you can just actually open. When you do that, basically what I did was I actually took a look at the COT crude oil. Okay, and you're going to notice that there's basically three panes here. On this side, you're going to have a pane that's going to show you all of the net numbers overlaid. Over here, you're going to see the individual numbers, and down here, you're going to have a chart of the crude. So let's go ahead and just focus in this pane right here. Right here, you've got the non-commercials. Again, this is for crude oil. And I'm just going to make this full screen so you can see it a little bit better. What I did is I basically broke down all of the numbers that are reported. So in green, in the commercial field, always in green is going to be the long interest. Okay, so people that are basically rated as non-commercials that have a long position. Underneath that, in the red, you're going to see the short position total. And underneath that, you're going to have the long minus the short as kind of this histogram that shows in the chart. And in the case of non-commercial, it's a bit of a dark blue. Okay. Over on the net numbers, if you kind of look at just the net number, you'll see that this dark blue line corresponds with the dark blue line here. They're the exact same value. The difference between this side is this just shows you the net numbers, and this shows you all of the numbers. Okay. Underneath with commercial, you'll see it right here. I've legended everything out. You'll have commercial right here. Commercials have more short positions, so you have the red line above. You'll have green underneath. This is people that have long positions that are branded by the CFTC as a commercial. And you'll have the net number, which is going to be this red histogram. And again, just like before, this red number that matches up with commercials is going to show up red as a net number here. So really quickly, the same is true with managed. If we look at the managed numbers, you're going to have a long position managed. You're going to have a short position, and then you'll have a net number that's going to show up as in a histogram. That histogram is going to match to this total over here. Okay, and the producer, same thing. Other, same thing. You kind of get the idea. Basically, what I've done is I've just pulled all of that data, made a chart that allows you to look at all of it in kind of a simple screen. Over here, you're going to have the breakdown of all of the actual numbers. And on the left-hand side right here, you're going to have kind of just all the net numbers and how they look in correlation to each other. So if I was going to be looking at crude right now and I'm looking at the current up-to-date data, we could tell you that net commercials are net position long, other is net position long, managed is net position long, producer is net position long, and commercial is net position short. Okay. I did also create a bit of an expert advisor for each of these layouts. I'll go ahead and in case you're not familiar with how those work with MetaStock, I'm just going to show you how it works. I'm going to go into the expert advisor right here. I'm going to go into commentary. And then this does take a minute to load. Each one of these numbers that we're pulling actually has a different value that it's pulling a different symbol for. So it'll take a second to load. It's probably loading in, as a rough guess, maybe 25 symbols to kind of pull this into a report for you. And what I wanted to come across with this was a bit of a report so you could just kind of get an overview of how things were coming. So right here we've got the Commitment of Traders report, crude oil. This is for 11/17/2009. Gives you that same kind of intro that I gave you about what the CFTC is and what they're reporting, the idea that they're trying to provide clarity into terms of what people are doing in the market. And then we just break down the numbers. I include the managed for today, both long and short, and the net, and the change from the previous reporting period. So if you're looking at this on a weekly basis, you'll see the change from the previous week. If you're looking at it on a monthly basis, you'll see the change from the previous month. Okay, we break that down for net, commercials, non-commercials, producers, and other. Okay, and then also you'll have the open interest, which I plotted right here as open interest. Right here, it's the white line at the top. We do have also the crude oil as a chart right here as well. We'll give you the open interest, and I included a bit of a definition for what all of these fields mean. So that's pretty much it for the physical assets. So anything that's a physical asset like crude or soybeans or wheat or whatever it might be, this is the way that the template's going to look, the free templates that we created. I want to kind of give you an idea of, and it's very, very similar, how the non-physicals look. So like the T-bonds or the T-bills or things like that. So let me go ahead and close this chart out. And this might take a second to load up just because of the amount of data that we're loading. So, but as soon as this chart finishes closing, I'm going to go ahead and open up one of the non-physical assets. Like T-bonds. Okay, just check and see if there's questions. Like I said, I think we'll go about maybe 20 or 30 minutes today. If you have questions, we'll stay here as long as you want to. I'm going to go ahead and click on File, Open here. Okay, and that'll take me to our layouts. Make sure this is set to layout so you can see it. Okay, and let's just go ahead and, I don't know, let's look at the euro. I'll go ahead and open that up. With euro, the main difference with this, with euro as opposed to some of the other commodities, is they just don't report as much information. You're not going to have a producer of euro, for example. Well, I mean, there are people that print the euro, but they're more of a government body, right? So they're not going to be actively, hopefully, trading. Although you could make that argument too, that maybe we're too actively trading the dollar. I don't know. Over here on the, so since really kind of there isn't a producer or a merchant or those kind of things of dollars, what you could say really all that they report in the CFTC filing is the non-commercial and the commercial. So the charts are a little bit easier to read because there's not quite as much data, but they're the same thing. You've got your commercial, non-commercial interest here that's basically bearish right now. You've got the longs right here. The net is you get a negative number. You've got that negative number over here. Here you've got the commercials. Okay, here is the same level. So these are all designed to match. I tried to make it easy. I tried to match the color code of the commentary with the way what was actually appearing on the chart, and tried to make it look really, really nice. Again, you're just going to have the net change. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, it's pretty funny that that took me probably a good 2 months of coding to get this all put together. There was so much involved in it, but I can show it to you in 20 minutes. But the idea was I wanted to kind of have a very, very nice, easy way to look at this commitment of trader data for you. In terms of the covered markets, I actually sat down and decided on what I thought would be most important, and hopefully I covered everything you're interested in. In the CBOT, we've got wheat and corn and soybeans. We've got lean hogs. Of course, we've got crude. I included Bitcoin. I basically sat down and decided on kind of like the most important things people have been asking to be able to see out of the commitment of trader, and I coded out an individualized template for each of them. In addition, if for some reason you don't see kind of the template that you want, I actually did leave all the code open, and I left a rough guide in the back of the manual that we created for this thing in terms of how you can go in and kind of create you're on exactly out of what I've got with anything in case I miss something important. But here's kind of the list of the commodities that are included. This is basically a free download. We're going to make it available to you, but there are some requirements that are required so that you can power it with data and that kind of stuff. So, in terms of the requirements, if you have Zenith, you're good. Any Zenith package includes that commitment of trader data. I was able to pull all of the information out of that. In Reuters Data Link, we now have commitment of trader data, and we include it at no additional charge with our futures package. So as long as you basically have access to futures markets, whether that's like a futures package or the MetaStock subscription, or as long as you can look at a future symbol, you'll be able to power these templates. And I did do all of the coding in MetaStock 17. So I wanted to create this as a just something you could download, a freebie, but I did make it in 17, so you need to use 17 to use it. So those are really the only requirements. If you want to grab it, there's a bit of a link here. I'm going to show you how to navigate to this big link on our website. Did you end up creating a bit.ly link for it, Greg?
I just dropped it into YouTube's chat.
Okay, let's see. Let's take this look here.
Excuse me, it's not a bit.ly link, it's just the...
Oh, just the whole link. Okay. Yeah. So you can actually go to this link. I won't show how to navigate it. I'll just type it in the chat. It should stay. We'll make sure that it's in the comments for the people that are watching this after the thing. And I'll post this up into the thing here. When you click on this link, it abbreviated it for me and go to webinar. Let's copy the link address real quick. Control V. Okay, that's the entire link. When you go up here, I'm just going to click into it and show you kind of what to look for. We are going to be adding more freebies here. But there's quite a few of them right now, but there's going to be more freebies here, so you might want to come back and check. The next thing we're going to be adding is a full version of the Alpha Omega Elliott Wave plugin. It's not available yet, but we're working on it. Right now, right here, you'll see the commitments of traders, 93 indicators, 21 expert advisors, and 21 layouts. You just download that file, run the installer, it'll install it, it'll put a little bit of a manual there for you. There's also a broad market thing up here and for either real-time or daily charts. If you're interested in those, you can download them. And there's the sector stat that's up here as well. So this is going to be kind of a bit of a growing library of things, but this is where you're going to grab the commitments of traders for now. Okay, so again, just the requirements. It's absolutely just a download. It does require MetaStock 17 to run. DC or RT will work. As long as you have real time, you're fine. Any package of Zenith will have the data you need for it. And for Reuters Data Link, you need a futures package. So I'm not going to ask you to buy anything, but if you have any questions for us or if you need to get 17, give us a call. 17, I will say this about 17. I love the new features. I love the new quote screen. It's revolutionized the way I use MetaStock. So if you haven't gotten 17 yet, you should. Give us a call, 800-882-3040. If you have questions about this, let me know. You can also chat online with our guys at metastock.com/saleschat. And if you want to get in touch with me, you're welcome to send me an email at jeffrey.gibby@metastock.com. And I will answer you. Give me a little bit of time if I'm on the road, though. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. John says, show us how to trade this. And thank you for the effort. So you're welcome. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. And I will see you at the next one, which is later today. So we'll see you this afternoon.